Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie, and today I'm making a video. I had a viewer ask me to make a video about what is expected of a unit secretary. So in this video, I'm going to go over 10 key expectations of a unit secretary. So the first one is administrative support. You are the clerical staff for your unit. That's basically what it is. You enter stuff in the computer, you answer the phones. If things need to be scheduled, any correspondence, anything like that, you are responsible for that. Number two is you maintain and organize the patient's records. That's your job. The nurses ain't doing that. Okay, don't expect them. Don't get mad. Okay, because that's what you're supposed to do, and that's basically just filing, lab results or test results, filing it to the chart. Now, of course, it's going to be electronically, they're going to put it electronically in the chart as well, but there will always be like a physical copy. Number three, you will be the point of contact between the patients, the family, and the healthcare staff. That's you. You are going to be the one relaying messages to patients. You're going to be the one taking calls, like say the doctor calls, want to speak to the nurse. You are the point of contact. Everyone knows to call this number for this station, and the secretary is going to answer. You are the one. Let's say a family calls and they want to speak to the patient. Let's say you got a nurse and a charge nurse in a room with the patient. Okay, they in there might be doing a procedure, might be taking the patient to the bathroom, might be cleaning the patient up, and then a family call, and they're like, I've been calling the room, but I can't get, my family's not answering. You would tell them the nurse is in the room with the patient. They're cleaning the patient up, or they're doing a procedure or something like that. You are the point of contact. So one of the things just being me, just being nosy, I always know what's going on. ICU is much smaller, but even with a med surge, it helps to just keep an eye on everything. You will be the point of contact. Number four is you will be responsible for patient admissions and discharges. So like you won't admit them yourself and you won't discharge them yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're gonna be responsible for a smooth admission and a smooth discharge. You will be responsible for that. So you will be responsible for making sure that when the patient comes to the floor, that they're transferred from wherever. So like if they come from another unit, they're transferred from that unit to your unit. Like you pull them over. If a patient is being discharged, you discharge them. Like, are they going home? Are they going to a sniff? Are they going to a rehab? Are they going to the morgue? Like, where they at? You would discharge them. And then number five is just managing inventory and supplies. So one of the things you're going to do, it depends on your unit now, because some units, the charge nurse may be in charge of things, or the manager may be in charge of things, and then there are some things that the secretary may be in charge of. So what I mean by that is when I worked on the med surge floor, the charge nurse will order the food for the pantry, right? Because we had a pantry, like little juices and things like that, crackers, stuff like that. But when I went over to the ICU, the secretary was in charge of that. I mean, the charge nurse can order stuff, but they really didn't. It was mainly what the secretaries, that was what our job was. So every morning, we would go and see, what we needed. So we would keep a track of that. Just making sure that you have like inventory as far as pencils, paper, and labels and things like they ordered from Staples. We would let the when I was in ICU, we would let the manager know what was needed, and then they would place an order with Staples. And then scheduling and coordination. Now, this depends on what type of department you work on. If you're on med surg, you wouldn't really be assisting with scheduling patient tests and procedures and things like that. You wouldn't be doing all that. If you work in like a place, a department where they do procedures, okay, that might be different. But like I said, it depends on where you work. But one of the things you will do is you will be doing consults. with the doctor. You're gonna do that all day, every day. And then number 7 would be data entry and reporting, and that's just basically putting the orders in the system. So when the and now most places, if they're like uh, paperless, if they're paperless, you don't really put in orders, right? I mean, you do, but you really don't. It's not like it was where they used to write orders and then you had to decipher them. Now, at the hospital, when we went paperless, the ER did not go paperless. Okay, everybody else went paperless, but not the ER. So we always had the orders from ER, and we would put them in. Or like, say, let's say they were in ER, the ER doctor. We never did that stuff. Like we never did with the ER because the ER, the orders from the ER doctor was done by the secretary in ER. But then let's say that like the attendant doctor put in orders. We will put those orders in, right? So when they get to the floor, okay, they're gonna have a regular diet because they saw them down in the ER. So the attendant doctor saw them in the ER, said admit them, and then they got admitted. The doctor wrote the orders. I want this test. I want these blood works done, CBC, blah, blah, blah. I want an ultrasound, regular diet. What else? Consult doctors who and so and PT and all that stuff. Okay. So we will put those orders in. But once they're there, you really don't put orders in. It just all depends. Okay. It depends on the doctor. But most doctors put their own orders in. Most nurses put the orders in. And then compliance and regulation, honey, that is HIPAA. Okay. You look, if you ain't gonna know nothing else, you're gonna know HIPAA, okay? Because they beat HIPAA into you. Okay. You could be long gone from a hospital and you know HIPAA. And basically, it's just ensuring that you comply with the hospital policies, the hospital regulations, and healthcare standards. Okay. So just you going to, and they're going to expect you to know that. Okay. And then number 9 is just excellent customer service. And that's just providing, good customer service to the patients, family, visitors, and little things like greeting the visitors instead of just ignoring them, saying hello, assisting them with their needs, providing any information that they need. Me being me, um, I would always go up above and beyond doing things. So I would like, so, okay, so when this is gonna be long. I'm gonna try to make it short. So when I worked on the med surge floor, we would have patients come to the nurses station, and they they were supposed to go to the other side, and the other side would have been like the ICU where I worked. Okay, where I eventually went to. So I would walk them over there because when they came in the building, and I'm gonna tell you why I walked them over there. When they came into the building, they came in through the main entrance, and they were like, say, hey, they go up to the counter and say, hey, I need to go to room, blah blah blah. The volunteer will say, oh, go get on the elevator and go up to the 3rd floor. Okay, so they go up to the 3rd floor, and then they will see our hallway because our hallway was like right there depending on what elevator they got off of. But and they will come down a hallway because it says 3 blah blah blah, right? And then they would get to the nurse station. Well, they needed to be on the other side of the hospital. So what the volunteers should have done is said, "Oh, go back out the door and just go to that next entrance, and then go up to the 3rd floor, and then you'll be there, right?" But they didn't because they did not give the volunteers maps of the hospital. But we're gonna leave that alone, okay? Because anyway, that was a pet peeve of mine. And so me knowing these people, they were told one thing, and now they're realizing they were told something wrong. So now am I gonna be the one to say, oh no, you're in the wrong spot? What you need to do is go back down the hallway, go back, and then the hallway that they needed to go through was between the elevators. It was a hallway between the elevators, right? And then you gotta go up the ramp, and then go this way, go that way, go that. No, okay, I'm not gonna do that because that's like not good customer service. Okay, so what I would do is I'll go. I'll walk you over there because it's too much. Because they are not going to see that elevator. I mean, they are not going to see that hallway between the elevators. I'm telling you, they're not going to see it. And two, sometimes that door was closed. So if you got off the elevator and you saw the door closed, you see the door, but you're not thinking. So I would get up, good customer service, and walk them over there because they going up a whole ramp and everything. Child, I don't want nobody fall going up a ramp. Mama going to see her husband that's in the ICU. Ain't nobody got time for mama falling on the ramp. So I will walk her up there. That's what I would do. I will walk them up there, and then say, hey, this is where it is. And I'm just walking them over from they was on the wrong side of the building. That's what I would do. And that's how I was. That's good customer service. It don't because it was because I would have been mad if all I had to do was just go back out, go to another entrance and come up, and I would have been where I was. But now I don't came up the wrong elevator, wrong hallway. Now you telling me I got to go back and go this way and go that way. No. So that's what I always did. So that to me, that's good customer service. That's excellent customer service. And that's what I did. That's what I always did. And then even sometimes when I was over in the ICU and they would come in through the they would come in through the wrong entrance and come up to the third floor. I'm like, oh no, you're supposed to be on the other side. And so I will walk them down. I will walk them down the ramp and walk them to where they belong because it just is what it is. But that was just me. So just little things like that. That's excellent customer service. And then the last is support during emergencies. And the most common emergency that you're going to be a part of is cold blues. And you will, there is a role for the secretary in a cold blue. And I'm going to give you a story. And then it's the last story. So let me tell you what you're supposed to do. And then I'm going to tell you a story. So when they call a cold blue, your role as the secretary is to call the cold blue. So like, let's say the nurse is in a room. The nurse walks into a room, see the patient's not breathing or something. They'll pull the string because there's a string behind the bed, right? They pull the string. We hear it. I don't know if they hear it down or the operators hear it, but I know we hear it, right? The operators might hear it too. So we call the cold blue. That's what the secretary is supposed to do because we're confirming that, yes, this is a true cold blue, right? Because everybody running. This is a true cold blue. So we, as the secretary, we call down to the operator and say, hey, cold blue room, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so then the operator calls it overhead. That way the intensivist knows and whoever else, they all come, right? So that's what you're supposed to do. And then after you do that, you take the chart into the room. So you take that patient's chart, that physical chart, and you take it in the room. Everybody's in the room. You take it, you just hand it to somebody, and then they gonna hand it to somebody, who gonna hand it to somebody, who gonna hand it to somebody, and then you go back to the nurse station. Okay. So one day I'm sitting, now this is when I was on the med surge. So I'm sitting at my desk at the nurse station. Um, the only other person at the nurse station was a PA. Okay, she was like the PA to one of the hospitalists. It was like a group of them. She did all the work, but anyway. But she never really said nothing. She was real quiet, just doing her job. And so it's me and her at the desk. I'm doing what I'm doing, answering the phones, answering the call lights. People walking past, whatever. So it's just me and her. And she gets up. It's funny, I remember this like yesterday. She gets up, she go down the hallway. She come back, she sit back down at the computer, and she finished, she's in the computer. So then me being me, I'm checking my orders because that's what I do. And whenever there's a new order, we would get an alert. And so I see the alert and I go in and I look, and it was like her notes and everything. And then it was patient DNR. Make the patient a DNR. So I get up, I get the chart, and I put a DNR sticker on it. And then I put the chart back. Not even 5 minutes later, cold blue. Okay, so they call cold blue. They they grab the crash cart. So I'm like, what room? They say the room. So I call down to the operator. This is Jackie. We have a cold blue, room 312. Okay. Cold blue. Okay. So they know it's a cold blue for real. And so then the operator calls it overhead. So everybody run in the room. They got the crash cart and everything. So I get up. I get the chart. I go down the hallway. I hand it to somebody who handed it to somebody. And then the nurse, no, I handed it to somebody who handed it to the charge nurse. The charge nurse looked and said, wait a minute, they're a DNR. And so the nurse is like, no, they're not. They're not a DNR. Who made them a DNR? And I was like, no, they are a DNR. She was like, who made them a DNR? I said, the PA. Okay. I said her name, but I like the PA. And so she like, when this happened? I said, I don't know, like 5 minutes ago. And so the charge nurse come out the room with me. I said, well, she's sitting at the nurse station. So the charge nurse come out the room, and we go down to the nurse station, and she just sitting there, and she's like, yeah, he's a DNR. I was like, girl, you sat there and let all these people run right past you, because they literally ran right past her. And you just sat there like she ain't say a word. Okay. When I say she ain't say a word, she ain't say a word. I ain't say a word either. Okay. But they all ran past her. They ran past her with the crash cart, because they ran past me with the crash cart. Okay. And she just kept on typing. And then they were like, yeah. So then we had to. So then when the people came, like the intensivists, and they was coming from the ICU, because when they was coming from, like, we had to let them know, no, he's a DNR. Okay, you can go back. And then, yeah, so you'll be responsible for a lot. And, one of my pet peeves is they think all secretaries do is just answer the phone, y'all. That is a pet peeve of mine, because I'm like, do you not understand? Do you not understand that we make sure that it's enough supplies and pens and pencil and paper, and I ain't talk about like the file, and make sure it's enough paper in the printer, because they ain't putting no paper in the printer and things like that, and make sure the printer works, because if the printer don't work, you got to call somebody. If the call light don't work, if the phone in the patient room don't work, if something don't work, you got to call down the biomed, or you got to call engineering. We ain't even talk about the center supply stuff, all that stuff that we order. Like, we ain't even talk about that. And then of course, like when it's a cold blue, you have to put in an order for a new crash cart. And so they will bring a new crash cart that's sealed and everything, and take the old one back. Like, yeah, we ain't talking about all that. We ain't gonna talk about the peritoneal dialysis, and you gotta order all that. Child, if they don't, but that's what they think we do, just answer the phone. Secretaries do a lot. They do a lot. But, and then I didn't even talk about the personalities that you gotta deal with, and all the other stuff, and the police. I'm trying not to scare you. There is a lot that secretaries do, but those are the main ones. That is the 10 most important things. Everything else is just the cherry on the top. All right, so that's all I got for you. If you have any comments or questions, you can put them below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.